What's going on, everybody? Typical intro, right? Kensou, new video. What we're talking about, plus R, GGPO update, aka rollback update. So what does your boy have to say about this one? Well, what I have to say about this new update for plus R is that it's really good. I mean, really good. So I'll take you down a quick little trip in my experience with it. So the first few minutes, or if you will, like my first experiences and matches wasn't the best. And we had people on here playing vanilla AC, which I really hope that they fix this. And I know this sounds kind of a little crybaby-ish, but the autosave feature didn't work too well for me, so I was playing regular AC for whatever reason. Probably because the previous stream I was trying to show people stuff from vanilla AC and it didn't save my settings. So I played online, played some people playing AC. It was pretty laggy, in fact extremely laggy. I don't know where and why it was so bad, but it was laggy as all can be. Went back, saved my settings, went back to plus R, jumped back on again, and played. Then it was better. Now again, mind you, some of the matches I played were pretty laggy in the beginning, but ended up playing some people, and lo and behold, the rollback is really good. I was amazed. I was playing quite a few characters, from Bridget to obviously our main chip, some Souls, some Zato, and I was like, man, I'm really surprised. And the good is it's very, very playable, to the point to where I'm playing against one of my regular viewers, Slave from France. I'm playing this dude from France for like 3 or 4 hours. Unheard of. Now, we've played Dragon Ball Fighters together, and even with me streaming 1080p, 60 FPS, him watching the stream, and all of that, playing Dragon Balls somewhere around like 5 or 6, kind of fluctuates between 5 to 7 delay, right? Obviously it still fluctuates with Guilty Gear, but it was so stable. That was the thing. Like, it was extremely playable, like to the point to where I was hitting just about my normal dude. And I don't really know too much in the way of the new combos and stuff like that for plus R. Like, I can just play Guilty Gear and it shows in my gameplay, but yeah, it was fine. And we're playing for like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm just like, man, this is nuts. This is unheard of. If we try to do this in like any other game that's out right now, probably wouldn't go too well. Not including the games that have the rollback netcode, right? But Dragon Ball, granted Street Fighter has rollback, so maybe it would be okay in Street Fighter. But obviously we're not gonna play that game. We're talking about Guilty Gear, right? But yeah, and I mostly play Dragon Ball and Street Fighter these days, and literally, like, to be able to do that is pretty, like, phenomenal. It's really good on the netcode developers for this. And I do know that it was outsourced by people from the community who were originally working on this project, and then ArcSys kind of just threw them a bone, which is pretty dope. Really glad that they did that, because if this is what they were going to do from a community funded standpoint, I don't even know what else. As you can see, I'm speechless. I'm just so smitten at how good it is. So far so good. Now, of course, with the good comes the bad, right? Obviously, I mentioned before, there was some lag in some earlier games, but there was something that I noticed in between playing for so long, and that is the game, for whatever reason, it eats inputs, or there's like a weird input buffer delay or something along those lines. I think I remember seeing something on Twitter about there being like 3 frames of delay on anything external regarding combos or certain situations. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but that's kind of like the general gist, is that there is some issues with the game eating your inputs or some kind of input delay, and I could not, for a while, I'm like, I know I'm rusty, but I remember how to land a lot of these combos. Like, the basic stuff, like basic air combos, were like dropping, and I'm like, okay, I'm not a fan. I don't like this. Even when I would go for certain mix-ups, like the generic chip sweep mix-up, I had my inputs 8, and I'm like, I'm pretty confident I dashed here, because when I did this in training mode, we had no problems. So there are instances where the game will eat your inputs, and I know that they did like a small update for that somewhere in between while I was playing yesterday, and it didn't really help that much. So I would imagine as things go on, you know, this is a beta. I'm not gonna act like this is like final release and let's get our pitchforks in hand and go, you know, go banter. No. I acknowledge that this is a beta and things have room for improvement. Again, the fact that they're actually doing this is great. You know, this is something that kind of needed to happen. And again, it's a good show of faith from ArcSys as far as I'm concerned. Again, 2 different teams working on their rollback netcode between Strive and this version of Plus R. Totally understandable. Obviously, totally understandable. So I think as things roll on, we'll see some stronger updates. We'll see no losing of inputs. I won't have these complaints most likely. But again, the more important part of all of this, at the Avengers Endgame of all of this, is that it is playable across the ocean. The fact that it's playable across the ocean is probably the biggest takeaway from this video I will give you guys. It is definitely playable. So if you have friends from overseas or something like that, you know, give it a try. You'd be surprised. You'd actually be surprised. Obviously, it's going to take good internet connections on both sides, but, you know, it's good. It's very good. So kudos to the guys working on it. Hopefully we can see more improvements as time goes on. So I feel like I addressed everything I wanted to address. Plus R is good. GGPO is good. Rollback is good. It's always good to have good netcode. Good netcode right now in these COVID streets is important. Can't be playing fighting games with delay-based netcode too often, because yeah, delay-based netcode just ain't where it's at. Either way, I think that about does it for this video. Went on just about as long as I wanted it to go. So I'll be uploading some matches and things from my day 1 experiences, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, go play it. Go get it. It's super cheap on Steam. If you can't find it cheap on Steam, I'm sure you can find it someplace for cheap. Plus R is worth playing right now with this update. It was already worth playing before. Just the online wasn't as good. Now they're making it good. Jump in that beta right now. Go hit some buttons and go enjoy yourself some Guilty Gear, alright? I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Have yourselves a good one. Deuces, gooses.